Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Chelsea, and by the time this video is uploaded, it will have been exactly 5 weeks since Epic Heat by Girvan has started. So I thought I'd just like to check in at the halfway point and let you guys know how I've been getting on with the program, as well as explore how Carolyn and her Epic program have fit into the YouTube fitness community as a whole. So if you've seen any of my other fitness reviews, you know I like to focus on the overall experience rather than the results, and this one is no different. With that said, I have to admit that I did not follow Epic Heat as strictly as I did Epic 2. But before you feel clickbaited and click away from this video, Carolyn did emphasize that since the weather is getting warmer, she purposely made these workouts just 30 minutes, a little bit shorter, so people can enjoy other exercise. So on some days, I would switch out the Epic workout for maybe a short run, dancing, walking, any of those more low impact activities. And I don't think I deviated too much from the actual program. So with that said, let's just get on into my initial thoughts and review. So one of my initial thoughts was to compare this to how I felt during Epic 2. So overall, the structure was very similar to other Epic programs. There are 5 workouts a week and 2 rest days, one of them being an active rest day. However, this time, each workout was only around 30 minutes. They still targeted groups of muscles each day, like upper body, lower body, and there was always a HIIT workout and a full body session every week. So the biggest difference is the 30 minutes instead of 40 minutes to an hour. I saw on the Facebook group that some people were not used to the change at first, but for me, I adjusted pretty quickly. I think with Carolyn, there isn't really a difference between a shorter and longer workout because she keeps you so engaged the entire time. Sometimes even during Epic 2, I felt like a workout had ended so quickly even though it was a complete hour. So for this time, I personally increased the weight I was using and tried to up the intensity during HIIT workouts. So that kept me pretty challenged the entire time even though the workouts were technically shorter. I also didn't encounter any new moves in this program, so I would say it's pretty good to start with if you're first getting into Girvan. With these shorter sessions, I think it's even more about how you challenge yourself and get to know your skill level. The next point I want to address is resting during the workout. As you can see, I pause a lot during her sessions. Because not gonna lie, these are really challenging and I don't even know how she can keep up with herself. But if you noticed, Carolyn also does not shy away from taking breaks even during her own workouts. This definitely normalizes the idea of taking a break and not feeling guilty about it. When fitness instructors have the perfect hair, the perfect makeup, seemingly endless energy, you feel compelled to keep up or feel guilty for taking a break. However, with Carolyn, I think she portrays a very realistic way of how most of us approach workouts. When we can't keep up, Carolyn makes it okay for us to take a break, and when we feel ready, just get right back into it. This, for me and a lot of other people I've seen in the comments, is really encouraging because it shows us even Carolyn, who came up with the workout, needs a little break now and again. And if you think about it, if someone is showing you a workout and they can do the whole thing while not looking challenged at all, is the workout itself even that challenging? And the last point I wanted to touch on for Epic Heat and Epic programs in general is the text on screen. Carolyn does not talk during her workouts, which makes it easy for everyone to focus, as you can also play your own music on top of it. But I do think that some of the explanations she puts on the screen can be a little bit hard to read while you're sweating and in the moment. So even when she put these explanations in during the rest periods, I personally just don't like to pause and read the small text. But again, this is just a personal opinion, and besides this, I thoroughly enjoyed all the exercises and structures of the workouts. In this next portion of the video, I like to talk a little bit more about how and why Girvan and her workouts have become so popular on YouTube over the past year. Of course, I've spoken about how different her style and focus is from other influencers, but I also wondered how Carolyn was able to grow so fast in this social media world where thumbnails and titles play such a big role in getting people to even look at what your video is about. I think it all comes down to delivery. Not only does Carolyn give us the information in a very straightforward way in her titles and descriptions, but she actually delivers on what she claims the workout is all about. In this way, she's able to reach a core audience that's very passionate about fitness and gaining strength. And though she's a relatively private person on social media, Carolyn Girvan is very open about how she works out and how her diet is. On her Epic Guide, she lists many tips for healthy eating, healthy living, and even shares some of her active rest day workouts on the Facebook group. She also takes time to respond to everybody's comments on her workouts, which I think is a great way to engage with your audience and keep them personally invested. So while I think people like Chloe Ting, Pamela Reif, and Lily Sabri are a great way to get newcomers into the fitness community, people like Carolyn Girvan are the ones who can make them stay. As a frequent gym goer myself before quarantine, I never thought I could enjoy home workouts this much, as my experience had mainly been with Chloe Ting and Blogilates back in high school. Though they did challenge me at the time, I was in a headspace where physical results still mattered the most. And I think that is just an unavoidable situation for your audience when so much of your content is focused on those results. But Carolyn Girvan's Epic is a testament to how you don't need those physical indicators, whether that's a visual in the thumbnail or something in the title, in order to attract an audience. Her programs have definitely put me into a better mindset where I feel more focused on gaining strength and being healthy. I'm not ashamed to admit that I love food, but I also love the feeling of being sweaty and feeling super challenged after a workout. So that just about wraps up my thoughts on Epic Heat so far, and a quick dive into Carolyn Girvan's workouts and how she's found a place on YouTube. I've been watching a lot of commentary channels recently and felt like doing a deep dive into Carolyn's presence beyond just her Epic Heat program. I'd love to know some of your thoughts below if you've tried her workouts or any other influencers that have made an impact on you. As always, thank you so much for watching if you've come this far, and be sure to stay tuned for the next one. I'll see you guys very soon.